OpenAI has just unveiled GPT-5 Codex, their most advanced coding model to date. Unlike anything before, this system is capable of handling large-scale projects, debugging complex codebases, refactoring entire applications, and, most impressively, working continuously for more than 7 hours on a single task without losing focus. For developers, that's a game changer. It means they now have an AI partner that doesn't just answer quick coding questions, but can stick with a project from start to finish. Already, early adopters are using GPT-5 Codex as a code reviewer, spotting issues faster, identifying subtle bugs, and even improving software quality at a level that rivals seasoned engineers. The productivity boost is hard to ignore. At the same time, OpenAI seems to be pivoting back into robotics. Industry insiders are noticing subtle hints that humanoid robotic systems may be on the horizon. While details remain limited, the idea of combining powerful coding intelligence with physical automation is sparking serious conversation about the future of AI-driven robotics. And alongside these breakthroughs, a massive new study has just been released, the largest analysis ever conducted on how people are using ChatGPT in daily life. Covering hundreds of millions of users worldwide, the research shows the global scale of AI adoption and how deeply it's already becoming part of work, learning, and everyday routines. Now, let's break down what makes GPT-5 Codex so significant. 1. The most powerful programming model. Yet, GPT-5 Codex isn't just an incremental update. It's a specialized version of GPT-5 that's been fine-tuned for software engineering at scale. 2. Extended work sessions. Unlike traditional AI models that lose consistency over long interactions, GPT-5 Codex can stay engaged in a task for over 7 hours straight, making it uniquely effective for long-form multi-stage programming challenges. 3. A true coding partner. This isn't just about generating snippets of code. GPT-5 Codex can design, implement, review, and refactor entire systems, positioning itself as a collaborative teammate rather than a tool. 4. Codex has been evolving. April. OpenAI launched the Codex command line interface. May. A web-based version followed. Recently. Both experiences were merged into a unified platform, fully integrated with ChatGPT accounts. This integration means developers can now move seamlessly between their local environment and the cloud, without losing project context. 5. Now the default engine. As of today, GPT-5 Codex is the default coding engine everywhere, whether you're working in the terminal, in VS Code, on the web, or even on your phone. 6. Trained for real-world engineering. The biggest breakthrough is that GPT-5 Codex has been trained with real engineering workflows in mind. That means it doesn't just know code, it understands the practical challenges of software development, from debugging production issues to optimizing large architectures. 7. With GPT-5 Codex, we're no longer talking about an AI that just spits out a few lines of code. This model is built for the entire software development cycle, from starting fresh with a blank project, to adding features, building tests, debugging errors, doing large-scale refactors, and even reviewing code like a seasoned teammate. 8. The key shift is that GPT-5 Codex doesn't act like a code snippet generator. Instead, it behaves like a long-term collaborator, a partner who sticks with you through the messy, multi-step process of real engineering work. 9. One of the most impressive features is the way it manages time dynamically. If your request is small and straightforward, Codex delivers an answer in just seconds. But if the task is massive, say, refactoring an entire repository, Codex can grind away independently for up to 7 hours straight. During that time, it doesn't just generate code once and stop. It iterates, tests, fixes errors, and refines the result until it produces a working solution. 10. This adaptability has been tested and benchmarked. On the SWE bench, verified benchmark, a suite of 500 real-world software engineering problems sourced from open-source projects. GPT-5 scored 72.8% accuracy. Codex pushed that to 74.5% accuracy. Now, a couple of percentage points might sound minor, but in this benchmark, every point is huge because each task represents an actual bug or fix from production code. 11. The difference becomes even more striking in refactoring benchmarks. GPT-5 managed 33.9% accuracy on large-scale refactoring tests. GPT-5 Codex? It jumped to 51.3%. That's not just incremental, it's a leap forward. It shows Codex is significantly better at handling the complex, messy, and deeply interconnected jobs that come with mature codebases. 12. And that matters. Because these days, turning an idea into a working product often feels like slogging through mud, sketches, wireframes, handoffs, delays, sometimes weeks before you see something usable. GPT-5 Codex is designed to shorten that gap dramatically by taking on the hardest engineering challenges directly. OpenAI shared some internal usage numbers that highlight how smart Codex is about time management. In the simplest 10% of tasks, GPT-5 Codex used 93.7% fewer tokens than GPT-5. In other words, it gave quicker, more efficient, less wordy answers. But when the tasks got harder, the top 10% of complexity, Codex did the opposite. It spent more time thinking, iterating, testing, and reasoning, sometimes running twice as long as GPT-5. That ability to sprint when it's simple and settle in for a marathon when it's tough is what Sam Altman and the OpenAI team are most excited about, and adoption has been explosive. Within just 2 hours of launch, Altman posted that GPT-5 Codex was already handling 40% of all Codex traffic. By the end of the first day, it was well on its way to passing 50%. That kind of uptake is almost unheard of. Developer feedback has been mixed but telling. Many are blown away by how well Codex handles complex projects, while others are understandably worried about subscription budgets, since Codex access is bundled into ChatGPT Plus Pro, Business, EDU, and Enterprise plans. Here's the breakdown. Plus, Business, EDU, limited coding sessions per week. Pro, enough credits to spread work across multiple projects, covering a full week's worth of development. Enterprise, pooled credits for teams, with the option to purchase more as needed. CLI users with API keys. GPT-5 Codex will soon be available directly via API. When it comes to code reviews, Codex really shines. In testing on open-source repositories, GPT-5 produced 13.7% incorrect comments, while Codex cut that down to just 4.4%. The percentage of high-impact comments rose from 39.4% with GPT-5 to 52.4% with Codex. Codex also produced fewer comments overall, 0.93 per pull request versus 1.32. So you get less noise and more meaningful feedback. Inside OpenAI, Codex is already reviewing the majority of pull requests and catching hundreds of problems every single day, often before human reviewers even step in. Part of this comes from upgrades to the Codex ecosystem itself. The CLI has been rebuilt around agentic workflows. That means you can now share screenshots, wireframes, charts, and other visual context without typing massive text prompts. Let Codex track progress with a to-do list. Use built-in tool integrations like web search and MCP for external systems. The terminal UI has also been redesigned for clarity, with cleaner tool calls and better diffs. Approval modes have been simplified into 3 tiers. 1. Read-only, explicit approval required. 2. Auto, workspace access, but external approval needed. 3. Full access, unrestricted file access and network commands. In short, GPT-5 Codex isn't just a step forward, it's a redefinition of how AI can function as a coding partner. From writing features to reviewing PRS, all while adapting intelligently to the scale of the task. Another major upgrade is Codex's ability to compact conversation state. This makes long coding sessions far lighter on memory, meaning you don't have to worry about hitting limits or losing track of context during extended work. The IDE extensions are also a big part of the story. Codex now integrates directly with VS Code, Cursor, and compatible forks, allowing it to preview changes and even co-edit code alongside you. Because it can draw context from the files you have open, or even just the code you've highlighted, you don't need to type long, repetitive prompts. Short instructions are often enough to get exactly the right output, and the workflow between cloud and local development has become seamless. If you have a long-running cloud task, you can pull it into your IDE at any point, make final tweaks, and still keep all of the project context intact. On top of that, the cloud infrastructure itself is now faster. Thanks to container caching, OpenAI has cut average task completion times by 90%. Codex can also auto-configure its own environment by scanning for common install scripts, so setup is nearly instant. With configurable internet access, it can even fetch dependencies on the fly with commands like pip install, and it's not limited to back-end workflows. On the front-end side, you can now upload design specs or bug screenshots, giving Codex direct visual context for what needs to be built or fixed. Codex can even spin up its own browser, inspect the UI, make iterations, and then attach a screenshot of the results directly to the task or a GitHub pull request. But alongside performance, safety is a top priority. By default, Codex runs inside a sandbox environment with network access disabled unless explicitly granted. This greatly reduces risks like harmful actions or prompt injection attacks. Developers can adjust these settings depending on their tolerance, granting full access when web search or MCP integrations are needed, or keeping things locked down for maximum security. Every task also comes with citations, terminal logs, and test results, so you can audit exactly what the model did before merging changes. OpenAI is careful to stress that Codex should be treated as an additional reviewer, not a replacement for human judgment. While most of the spotlight is on Codex, OpenAI has quietly been making moves in robotics again. Back in 2020, they paused robotics research, citing a lack of training data. But after a 5-year break, signs of a comeback started appearing in early 2025. Job postings began to surface in January, and now Wired has reported that OpenAI is clearly ramping up again. The focus areas? Teleoperation, simulation, sensing, and prototyping. They've even brought on people like Chanuli from Stanford, known for her work on humanoid household robots. Taken together, these signals strongly suggest that OpenAI is targeting humanoid systems, general-purpose robots that could help move closer to AGI. Nothing has been confirmed outright, but the direction looks clear. And beyond robotics, there's another fascinating angle: how people are actually using ChatGPT in daily life. OpenAI's economics team, working with Harvard's David Deming, analyzed around 1.5 million conversations, making this the largest study of consumer usage so far. With roughly 700 million weekly users worldwide, the data provides a genuine snapshot of adoption at scale. The findings are striking. In January 2024, about 37% of users had typically feminine names. By July 2025, that figure had risen to 52%, mirroring the adult population almost perfectly. Growth is much faster in lower-income countries, over 4 times faster than in wealthier nations. Most chats revolve around everyday tasks, guidance, information, and writing. Roughly 50% of messages are asking, using ChatGPT as an advisor. About 40% are doing, drafting, planning, coding. Around 11% are expressing and play. Usage splits to about 30% work-related and 70% personal, with both categories climbing steadily. The biggest takeaway? The real value is in decision support. People are using ChatGPT to make better choices, work more productively, and expand into new use cases as the models continue to improve. And that's where things stand right now. The AI landscape is shifting fast, from coding to robotics to everyday personal use, and the scale of adoption is impossible to ignore. Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe for more updates. Thanks for watching.